under varying conditions. A flight looms overhead, and the aggressive force floats to Earth. This is typical of the kind of invasion one can expect. Alaska is right in the path of long-range flights, which could come from the other side of the globe. The spring thaw has turned the foothills into a sticky mass, which makes the going difficult for everyone, except the weasels. Like their animal counterpart, they have little difficulty in getting around in all kinds of terrain. Repairs, which are comparatively simple under normal circumstances, become major problems under these unusual conditions. Changing a tank track requires a lot of perspiration and patience. Even the usually irrepressible Jeep has its difficulties. L-19s are used to scout the way ahead. It's very difficult to visualize the state of terrain by reading a map. Vast quantities of water pour down from the melting mountaintops and completely change the shape of the country. Placid streams become roaring torrents, and many ways are improvised to keep moving along. In accordance with the unexpected, a stream has swollen to the size of a river, and the engineers are called to provide a bridge. Boats are unloaded, while a bulldozer rearranges the riverbank to form a pierhead. Then begins the assembly of the pontons, which will be the supporting structure. But nothing is ever simple in the Arctic. There's always the added touch of nature to make things difficult. The glacier is giving off large chunks of ice, which could cause serious damage and ruin all the work. The only thing to do is get rid of them. Dynamite charges are placed in the floating hazards. After all is set, the men move off to a safe distance before the switch is turned. Work progresses swiftly now as the pontons are inflated and rowed into place. Another obstacle cleared by the ingenuity and skill of the engineers. Mobile quartermaster units keep right up with the troops, and a steady stream of supplies roll in and out of improvised storage areas. A welcome sight to a soldier is the bath unit. Religious services are held with the sky serving for the chapel roof. Our men in Alaska have triumphed over primitive conditions and adverse weather of staggering proportions in order to effect an efficient link in the defense of America, vigilant against attack on the ground or from the air. On a recent inspection trip, Army Chief of Staff General Matthew B. Ridgway led a delegation from the Pentagon. He saw and approved the results of our efforts to make the northern frontiers safe. Men of America's fighting force are following in the footsteps of the pioneers who settled a wasteland and built it into an important segment of our country's future. Once the object of derision, Seward's icebox is now a key link in our chain of security. The destiny of the United States could someday be at stake in the whistling winds and frigid air of the Arctic.
problems of overcoming obstacles which nature puts in the way of our defense of Alaska are being solved. Despite most difficult conditions, men and equipment are learning the specialized tactics necessary for functioning in the Arctic at the peak of efficiency. Our Army is ever vigilant at the top of the world. This is Sergeant Stuart Queen, inviting you to tune in next week for another look at your Army in action on The Big Picture.
The Big Picture is a weekly television report to the nation on the activities of the Army at home and overseas. Produced by the Signal Corps Pictorial Center. Presented by the U.S. Army in cooperation with this station. You can be an important part of the big picture. You can proudly serve with the best equipped, the best trained, the best fighting team in the world today, the United States Army.